it.
Smash it harder, man. Oh, there went live.
There we go. I smashed it.
You smashed it.
Oh, yeah.
This Wellbot says very gimp.
That's because he was stuck staring at my wetsuit.
Smash it. Did you come hobbling in or what? This Wellbot says very gimp. How come I'm hearing myself?
Ditto to that.
I think you got the playback going. Did you come hobbling in or what? Wellbot says very gimp.
Oops.
You do have the playback going, don't you?
I did have the playback. Okay. If you guys don't know, Danielle was over here and hanging out, and then she had to go run to a party. She was running late, so she pretty much like had to run right out of here. So I totally forgot that I had the page up still.
Hey, did you send Handy Outdoor Nerd the link?
No, but I'm going to do that right now.
He's wanting to have a menage a trois tonight.
Give me a sec.
So how you guys doing? We got Theresa in the house. How you doing? Paul, thank you for joining. Wellbot, my man.
Oh, man, you guys were killing it on Twitter over there.
What's going on Twitter?
Oh, we had the usual Wellbot making his Jimmy G jokes and, you know.
Oh.
The cow boost and Jimmy G and all that good stuff, you know.
We have Dan in the house. Hello.
We got all the regulars. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And I'm really sorry about the fact that the streaming schedule has been absolutely insane. I'm not going to go into all the details, but let's just say.
Yes, he will. And he's going to pretend he's not going to, but you know him. Give him 5 minutes and he'll spill all the beans.
And then at this point in the night, no, I'm not going to do that.
Wellbot into his house.
No, but sorry, guys, that the streaming schedule got a bit mixed up. Things didn't work out for the Tuesday night stream. And then I was thinking we were going to stream on Friday night. And then I got in late with the U-Haul and I was exhausted. And then Jimmy had the wedding that he was at. And then today finally worked. So we decided because Jimmy's going to be busy next week, I might stream by myself or see if the Handy Outdoor Nerd or anybody else wants to join in with me. Do a stream then because I'm going back on an Amtrak train and bus on Tuesday night. So I won't be in until Wednesday into San Francisco. So I'm thinking when I get in on Wednesday night, on Wednesday night, I'll probably just do a stream by myself or see if anybody else wants to join me for like a little chit chat or whatever.
Well, I'll join you for a couple minutes, but I can tell you right now you'll be well, that's right, you're already demonetized. So that's no issue. Because I'll be down in Paso Robles watching ZZ Top. No, yeah, ZZ Top. Yeah, that's who's playing, and George Thorogood and the Destroyers. It's gonna be good.
So Teresa's saying, "Who's gonna back my 3D printing Kickstarter?" And I'm like, "Please tell."
Let's see what's going to be in the Kickstarter. Is it going to be models? Is it what's it going to be?
Anything like Joe's Kickstarter, that guy, I've got to hand it to him. He smashed it out of the park with that Kickstarter. His goal was like what, $500 or something like that.
She needs a house. What did I see up here? I saw something up here a little bit ago. Is it the house for sale? Yeah, house for sale. Blood pressure just distract me with stuff. She wants me to distracted with stuff and things.
Well, that's what we're working on. Wait, let me find a video that my environmental science instructor sent me about a 3D printed house. My old one. No, really. Here, dumping it in the chat.
Here's what bothers me about those 3D printed houses. I see all this concrete getting laid down, and being in California, the first thing I think about is during an earthquake, how in the world is that going to hold together?
Now, this one, I need to watch the video on it, and I linked to it in the chat description, but it looks like it's made with recycled 3D printed material. So I think it's more like there's a substructure, but the siding and whatnot is made from other things, if you know what I mean.
I'm just going to go back up to the check. I think I missed something there.
Man, chat is lit right now. We have 3D.
No.
We have 3D medic Vincent here. I don't know if I've seen you here or not. Welcome. And we got our good buddy Print 3D channel, aka Jeff. Cool
Dan
beans.
said I was looking dapper last night. Congrats to my brother. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I baked yesterday. It was in the mid 90s, high humidity, and a stinking tuxedo. That was not fun. But it was a great wedding nonetheless.
You were sharing all the gory details with us before the stream started, and I'm all like, oh man.
Let's just say that suit will forever have my DNA in it.
I have visions of them going right off. I mean, I'll be honest, it's been hot down here in Southern California, so I can only imagine what it must have been like out in King City.
Yeah, it was bad. But luckily about 3 o'clock the breeze started blowing through, and that helped a lot.
Well, also you had nanas to offset it, so that helps.
Oh. So the night before, I was just joking. He went and he posted this video of him driving into the parking lot and checking out where the wedding was going to be. So on his video, I just went in there and did a comment saying, "Don't forget my godfather." As soon as I walk up, he goes, "Jimmy." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Go over here. I got your godfather for you." Hands me this baked potato, a single baked potato, and I kid you not, it was that long. One potato. And it was so good.
Oh man. So do we have like a actual topic we're going to talk about tonight? I think the original topic was we were going to touch a little bit on the sad closing of Printerbot, and then whatever.
I thought the name of the stream was Nugs Holder or something like that.
Well, that's up in San Francisco right now, but I will say it works.
It works.
It works. Works better than I thought, especially when you're driving, because you can keep your nugs or your strips in the middle, and you can have your sauce on the side. You don't have to worry about your sauce tipping over, balancing it on something. No, it works. It's nice. Even when you're sitting at a table, it's nice because you don't have to worry about your sauce packet floating away when you try and dip. It's amazing.
Okay, before we go any further, what about saying taters would be good? Okay, let me tell you about this tater. It's not just a baked potato. Baked potato's got butter in it. Did you have that picture from Yelp still?
I can get it in a sec.
Okay, so it's got butter. It's got shredded cheese, which is the shredded cheddar cheese, and then it's got bacon, so bacon bits, tri-tip, jalapenos, and sour cream. Lots of sour cream. It is so good. And then to top it off, he has Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce that you can pour over the top. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Sorry, it's like really hot in my parents' house because they don't have air conditioning, so I was getting some watermelon so I don't pass out on stream.
How can they live in Southern California and not have air conditioning?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's not fun, though, at all.
What are you eating? Watermelon?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go there. Go ahead, spit it out on the keyboard. I gotta see this.
I didn't need a seed.
Did you have that picture?
Getting it up right now.
Let's see it, man. Let's see it. Let's see this goodness. Now, keep in mind, a Godfather is from your wrist to your elbow. I am not even joking.
There you guys go.
Show us that yummy goodness.
I got the link in the chat.
Well, why don't you post it up on the stinking screen?
Why do you do this? Why do you do that?
You're the one who knows how to do that.
Yeah, we always know how well that works. There you guys go.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. Except that person didn't get enough sour cream for some reason.
That or he's lame and he got it without.
And actually didn't get enough jalapenos either. I like them with a lot more jalapenos than that. And And another thing too, that person's got 2 forks. That means that he's sharing it with somebody. What in the world? Sissy. You gotta talk so it'll be up on the screen.
Is it up now?
It is until I talk. Who's this sideways person coming in?
I don't know.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Doing good. We're just talking about baked potatoes.
Oh, I know. I heard. I had to wait till it stopped to join.
I have to know like the perfect time to just like come in there and crash it.
Yep.
How's it going, dude? First time having you on the stream with me.
That's
Nice
true.
to meet you officially.
Nice to meet you.
Officially per se.
Yeah. It's going good. So.
I'm excited. I've got a 3-way going on here.
Oh, jeez, no. Jimmy, are you going to talk about the sponsor of tonight's stream?
Oh, there we go. There.
Boom.
Come on. Hit it.
Boom.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
La, 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 la.
Yeah, we got to go.
So you're going to talk about the sponsor of tonight's stream, Jimmy?
No. Okay.
So I'm not going to go into all the details, but let's just say before the stream, Jimmy did a really funny, our sponsor of tonight's stream. It was great.
Oh, goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about the oh, what do you call it? The elephant in the room. Our good friend Brooke over at PrinterBot, they made an announcement the other day that they are closing up shop. My question to you guys, any surprise, any feelings on what caused it? We honestly don't know at this point for sure. I've got my hunches on what's probably behind it. What's your guys' thoughts?
Well, let's start with Handy Outdoor and what he has to say because he's newest into all of this. So what's your thoughts on this, dude?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've not followed them a whole lot, so I kind of like checked it out a little bit after I found out the news on Twitter. So I was kind of disappointed. I think, are they the ones that have it that Joel Telling had gotten a couple of different things from that were not the greatest quality?
No, that was Robo 3D with the.
I couldn't remember if I was getting those two mixed up or not.
No, PrinterBot
was the printer that they had a Kickstarter where they started out with a wooden body 3D printer, and it's the type where the bed was out in the front. It would go this way, while the whole print head would go this way.
Okay.
And it had the long arm to it.
Okay. Yeah, it sucks, period, to have any go under. So, like as I told you last time, I did the Tico Kickstarter.
Yeah.
That sucked, period. So to have, that you climb up and up and up and people start getting some and then just dropped was horrible for people who backed it and those waiting for them to come and to get finalized, because they also did the pre-orders, which was all that good to do the pre-orders because everything kept failing and going down. So it was kind of like they're trying to grasp at straws to get everything built back up, to meet the production, because they kept having issues with things with their controller boards and everything else. So they changed to different, I want to say retailers. That's not the word that's coming to mind right now. Different manufacturers is what I want. And so they've gone through on that. Excuse me. And as they built that up and they had crappier ones, it dropped down. So they kept trying to go through and get newer ones and kind of spending money that didn't need to be spent. They should have kind of tried to at least get the printers out to everyone, whether they worked or not. That's what they should have done instead of spending all that money. So whether this company has done the same thing that Tico has is the hard thought of, were they spending money that they shouldn't have on trying to get things done better, or just let everything kind of just go downhill without trying as hard?
I honestly believe that they were trying their best. The only thing is, they were developing the printer belt. Was that the right printer?
I did see that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that probably didn't help was the fact that they were doing all the R&D in-house, and with the original printer, they went to Kickstarter. So they were able to kind of get the extra money coming in so they could do the research and actually develop the product, and had a solid base when they started the company. In this case, I think it was a little bit much for them to buy, and take on for themselves, without going to the public to see if there was going to be any real, how's the word for it? Any real support for the product.
So they didn't do any fundraising or anything with it?
No, they didn't. Okay. And I think that probably, the thing is about a fundraiser, it does more than one thing. Yes, you get money for capital in order to produce the product, but the other thing is it also gives you the resources, and up front what's the demand going to be like. Whenever you have a Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter, you're selling out of your early birds and you're doing all this other stuff, and you're seeing an interest in a product, it's worth continuing. But if you have your Kickstarter out for a few days and you're not seeing a whole lot, you kind of know where that's going to lead to.
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing that is a good point that all the Australian people and the non-US people here are making is a lot of people are going, I've never heard of them. And one thing that I think was part of their downfall was they never really advertised very much. They might have done it back in the day, but then it was kind of like you never saw them much on social media. You didn't see them sending machines to people as influencers, and it was kind of like, where's the advertising? Where's the sending stuff out to drum up interest? I mean, they had a booth at Maker Faire, but I think that did them in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is Maker Faire is not cheap. They really stick it to the businesses that go there, that participate. They really stick it to them. And I'm not saying anything bad about Maker Faire. That's to each their own that way. But those companies really pay top dollar for the size booth that they have. And I was kind of worried about it this year. I don't know why. I just was walking past there. You notice the size of the booth was a lot smaller than it was the previous year. Something just didn't feel quite right. I was wanting to go talk to Brooke, and just never got a chance to even say hi to him this year, unfortunately. Last year, remember, we got to talk to him for a little bit and got to visit with him for a little bit and just talk about the products and stuff. This year, you couldn't even get to his booth, but there just wasn't that buzz around it.
Yeah, I remember with the booth last year, I remember when we were doing the very first ever show, and we were talking about the PrinterBot Smalls, and it was $299 list price, but you could get it for like $269 at the show, and you were like this close to being like, grab the camera, we're buying one. Where PJ was like,
I really wanted to get one that day too. And thankfully, remember PJ sent me one? So I've actually got one, which I'm going to keep hold of that thing forever. I mean, that thing, it's the last piece of PrinterBot I'm going to be able to get hold of.
Well, it's like my Thing-O-Matic. It's more or less, it's cool having the thing because it's so old and it's a piece of 3D printing history. And they're very hard to find. And it's just cool to say that I have a functioning Thing-O-Matic. People who know that go, wow, that's really cool. Or people who aren't even into 3D printing go, I think it looks pretty old. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the it's like the second generation production 3D printer that was ever created for the mass market. You know, it's nothing spectacular, but it works.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Some older things can work a whole lot better than some of the newer stuff, which is really funny. Um, I mean, that's just kind of how a lot of things are nowadays. The newer stuff is produced for being thrown away compared to older things that have been manufactured, have been built to try to last. And a whole bunch of everyone's view is it's just throwing things away. Well, it doesn't work, let's throw that away. Well, it doesn't work, let's throw that away. Type of thing. So having something that is old and still works, or that just works, is good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy having things that are new now and again. Don't get me wrong, but I've got a lot of used things that are old that just work.
Yeah, well, I think, one thing that doesn't help that TK jumped in there is that also, sadly, there's a lot of new companies fighting in the market flooded with Chinese printers, etc. And yeah, it's kind of sad though that it's like the prices have become so low. It's literally a race to see who can build the cheapest machine, and as they go down, they're just going to keep knocking out company after company after company. It's pretty much whoever can last the longest making no profit is who's going to win.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the biggest things too.
Definitely does not help. That definitely does not help at all.
Oh, definitely not. And the problem is when you get that low, you're going to have to skimp, and it's not good.
Well, you take whenever you have. I mean, let's face it. What was the lowest price printer that PrinterBot had? $299.
I think.
I believe it was about $299. Was as far as what you could buy every single day online, and look at what you can get as far as print volume in almost any printer brand out there at the moment for $299. You can actually volume wise get some very good sized printers. You're talking 200 by 200 by 200 compared to the 130s by 130 or 150 or something like that. I mean, I kind of understand, but like I said, you're talking about printers coming from overseas, Chinese printers that pretty much are just knocking out the American competition that way.
Well, Teresa made a funny comment. She goes, I dare somebody to make a printer off the bits from Wish. And I would do that, except the shipping from Wish would be so expensive. You're better off just buying a machine, to be honest.
Actually, they do have some printer kits on there. I might give that a shot someday.
If I wasn't working on moving into dorms, I would totally be down for that. Right now, I'm thinking, well, I still have my old Shoreline CNC machine at the house, and I've got the LT Maker, and seeing how much making stuff you could efficiently pack into the trunk of a car just as a joke to be like the portable maker space in the trunk.
Let me put it to you like this, Calvin. You know how you're eating that watermelon right now?
Mm-hmm.
How's that taste? Does it taste really good?
Tastes decent, but it's not the best.
Nice and filling?
Not really.
When you move into the dorm, that's going to be your dinner. That's all the money you're going to have is for watermelon.
Go digging in the dumpster behind the cafeteria. I found something!
And ramen noodles.
Yeah, lots of ramen noodles. Over at Walmart, you can get this little plastic container-looking thing where you can like put the noodles in there, put the water in, and stick in the microwave for 2 minutes. They come out perfectly good.
Over at the City College bookstore, I kid you not, they had those for sale.
There's a reason.
And that's a community college, not a state school.
State school, you can't even afford to buy those.
Oh!
You're gonna be like, microwave? What microwave?
I had to pawn my microwave to buy a box of ramen noodles.
All you've got is hot tap water.
Oh,
Better hope it's a good hot water heater.
better hope it's not like dripping water and like, oh, that'd be so bad. Oh man. So what else do you guys want to talk about?
Poor Aaron, he's at this point where it's like, what have I done? These guys are like, squirrel.
So do you see the solder station I have started to set up in my office?
No, I want to see that.
It's look on Twitter. A couple of things. The bench, whatever you want to call it, and the casters are from the previous owners of the house. So I modified the caster so they would go onto the feet of the bench, so I can move it around. And then the lamp I got over this weekend for $2. And I also picked up an old paper shredder that has wheels instead of these stupid little grinding teeth. Actually has wheels that are about, let's see, maybe that big. So say 12, 15 millimeters around there.
Oh, wow.
And about five or 10 millimeters, between 5 and 10 millimeters wide. They're wheels. So instead of grinding it up in a whole bunch of little pieces, it grinds it into just straight strips. And instead of a switch to bump when you put the paper in, it actually has a light sensor.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
So you can see both diodes from the receiver and the transmitter on there, that whenever it gets interrupted, it will actually start to feed. So I fed a piece of paper through, so it was straight, and then I ripped it into pieces and fed it sideways, and I had little squares, just perfect little squares. So I plan on trying to use that for recycling and melting down my plastic instead of cutting it with scissors.
That's pretty cool. I could see that working really well for like thin sheet prints and whatnot.
Yeah. So
Have you seen what Flowalistic has done with a blender to pulverize the prints?
yes, that's pretty cool.
I'm waiting to see like one of those Blend Tech Will It Blend commercials where the guy takes a 3D print and goes, will it 3D, like will it blend? And then he puts the print in there and is like, recycled plastic. But that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Am I seeing this? Teresa taking off?
Yeah, she's taking off. Kid Butt wants to play some game with her.
Oh, cool. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks for popping by.
So yeah, so that big, this shredder is about like a foot and a half tall. It's super wide. I paid $1. $1.
That's insane. Is it designed for doing like large legal size pieces of paper, like the 11 by 14s, you think?
Probably. So because there's a big opening for it, about 10 millimeters wide, maybe, to get the stuff in. So obviously I've not done any measurements on it. This is just I looked at it, and I forgot to see what it was. So I was gonna tell you and post it or anything. I've just not had the time. So
You can tell me all about not having the time either. But
fixing my lawnmower this last week, mowing over the weekend, setting up my office, trying to get my desk and stuff set up, and fixing the microphone settings for my laptop. Because when I talk, I had to actually plug speakers in all the way up to there, and I would just hear. just like I could barely hear myself, and I was just like, "What's wrong with this thing?" I remembered stupid update.
Reminds me of that time when I had to freak out because my microphone wasn't working and stupid update turned the privacy settings off for the microphone, so I had to go in there and deal with it. That was fun.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. It was I had to go into settings and like fix the volume on like which one was the primary, whether it was my computer microphone or my microphone, and then like the volume of it was just stupid. Like so many different things I was trying to figure out, and I was about done.
That does not sound fun. Hey, at least you figured it out, right?
Yes, now it's a little too loud. I keep turning it down slowly, testing it, turning it down. So.
Well, I'll put it this way. When I did the video of how to edit with Danielle, it was really nice using the Tascam to record the audio separately, because what the GoPro recorded audio levels wise, what the laptop was doing was totally different, but having one set source for audio to sync to made it a lot easier in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've done that, but I've had to use my phone for it with my microphone, which is nice to do. It just sucks because I have to send it. I can't use an SD card or anything. I actually have to send it to myself via email or whatever to actually sync up. So
That
and
is
also
not fun.
and also the problem is if someone calls you or something, it interrupts that and screws it up completely.
So I'm just curious, did you watch all the editing video that I sent you, or just like scroll through it?
I watched more than half, and I skipped a little bit, and then skipped a little bit, just a little bit, because I was watching it on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to kill my phone watching all this.
That was literally real time of us taking it from the video clips that we just labeled to getting the rough cut done. Then about half an hour later after that, doing some final refinement is how we got the final video done. So we had about an hour's worth of editing in that alone, but it was fun.
Yeah, I think the biggest part that I actually skipped was you guys finding the audio file.
That one was fun because I had some music, but I don't really have like any more tropical themed stuff. So she's like, "Oh, what is this?" We're like scrolling through and we finally find the song. And it's like, "Woo, we found the song." Or she goes, "Oh, there's like this scene where I'm like holding the camera sideways and they go by," and I'm like, "Where is that?" And then I finally find it and I'm all like, "Oh, wow, really?" Like really blown away. It was fun.
By the way, you need to have her choose your music from now on, Calvin. You gotta get out of the doom and gloom, man. Like I don't know what to do, if I should be interested in the nugs holder, if I should slit my wrist.
And Calvin's over there just like, Heavens to Murgatroyd, how dare you?
Well, the thing is, I used to play
Train's going around. I'm expecting there to be an axe murder come out at any moment.
We didn't upload it yet, but the next video on the queue to go up is we just finished, when we were talking to Jimmy before the stream, we just finished up editing the loop because Danielle had been over there as well filming, and I'm like, oh man, we could do like some dark music. She's like, no, we're not doing dark music.
Bum, bum.
Theresa came back. I heard murder.
God. Part of me, though, I know I would get like totally clobbered for doing this, but part of me is want to take all like the really slow-mo scenes of Danielle like swimming in the water and put it to like some really dark soundtrack, or like to do the same. Do it like a
Photoshop in a shark behind her.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Do it. What's that South Park version? You know, where it's like.
Oh, you guys are so bad. Oh, you guys are so bad.
Yeah. I would say Psycho music, but it's underwater, so it doesn't work as well. There's some Alfred Hitchcock in there. You can do the creepy, ominous music from Birds.
Yeah, I could. I was just trying to make like more of a comedic version, but you know how that usually goes. It goes downhill real fast.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, there's a scene that I don't think it made it into the labeling the clips, which I need to edit as well. But there's a scene where I was joking about how it'd be hilarious if we faked to film an interview, and then it's like I come up in the background with some big old sign like saying like watch it with me with Calvin or something, and then you have like that really like I forget how it goes, but like that really annoying dubsteppy soundtrack that people sometimes use in scenes like that, and I'm like, oh, that'd be so bad.
Do it.
We have to.
Anything's better than that bird music that you got.
But Teresa's saying the stream has a lot of background noise.
I'm hearing that too. I honestly don't know where it's coming from.
Me either. Dang it! No, because it's weird because it's like constantly permeating throughout the stream.
Yeah, but the thing is, your picture keeps popping up every time it happens.
Mine?
Yeah, Calvin's.
Oh.
That's weird because I'm not making noise.
You gotta turn that porn off, man. What have I told you? Whenever you're streaming, you gotta turn off the porn. You can turn the porn on as soon as we quit streaming, but while we're streaming, please, Calvin, we gotta see your hands, and you gotta turn off the porn.
Look at my hands. They're huge.
They're huge.
So good.
I guess it's a good thing you're not monetized.
Let me see how much more I have to go before I hopefully get it.
Aaron's gonna take a flip you off any moment.
Oh man, remember
that? Hey, Ron. Hey, so we can do this, Calvin. Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
Trekkie nerds.
Oh my.
Oh my.
So how's things going after Droid?
Stop sending him the links. Oh goodness. What were you saying, Calvin?
I was gonna say, how's things going after George Sakai? People got in touch with you with the Facebook thing.
That's all slowing back down again. It does that. It picks up, it slows down. It picks up, it slows down. I still got Russians cussing me out.
Jimmy just loves the Russians cussing him out all the time.
It's funny because you have to take and I have an app on my phone where I can actually go into the bad thing about YouTube's application for creators is it won't let you copy anything. So you have to go and download this other app that'll let you copy off the screen, and then you can take it over to Google Translate to find out what in the world the language is and what are they saying.
I've had that on Instagram. Someone said something. I'm just like, I don't know what that is.
It's frustrating sometimes because it's like you can't tell what it is, so you don't want to like do anything, but then you don't know how to reply, and yeah.
You don't want to tell them off in their own language sometimes, so you just kind of ignore it.
If it's real bad, you just delete it. Otherwise, you're like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Although I have been thinking about on a few of them of go ahead and replying in Russian. It's just going to be about my luck that Google totally messed it up, and I would probably end up in World War III or something.
What's the name of that movie? War Games, I think it was, where the kid accidentally like starts World War III playing Battleship or something.
Yeah. Let's play a game.
Your luck, it would be saying something along the lines of something romantic or some obscene gesture you want to do to them.
Oh, this is totally going downhill.
Put in there Calvin said. And
why is it always my fault?
Because it's easier to blame you.
I had a friend over in France, and she speaks French. And I had Google translated stuff into French, and she's like, yeah, don't do that again. It's horrible.
The problem is in certain countries, if it doesn't know the grammar, the grammar of it, it'll use the wrong term for what it is, because it's doing a literal translation, not like a, kind of like how minute and minute are spelled the same way, but it's how you pronounce it. It's a little bit like that.
Yep.
Well, back in the very beginning when I started dealing with some people over in China, you could totally tell that when they were communicating with me that they were going to Google Translate to find out what in the world I was saying in English.
Now I think they've actually gotten, when I say better over there, I understand that for a lot of people, English is definitely not their first language, but I've noticed that their English tends to be a bit better. And I was like, oh, sorry, my English isn't the best. It's like, it's fine. As long as I can understand what you're saying and vice versa, I'm not going to grill you on grammar. If you ask me like for corrections and stuff, I'll give it, but I'm not going to like hold it over you.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same way.
As long as it doesn't come across like me so hoony.
Me so horny.
No, hoony. Like,
by the way, honey, what's up with this? You still haven't contacted me. I still want to try out with your printers.
I think Wellbot said they're back up on GearBest.
Are they?
Story goes.
Ooh, me so horny.
I'm still recovering from shipping all that stuff internationally for the giveaway, though.
So I'm shipping out the one to Australia tomorrow. I gotta go to the post office to do that. I got the rest of them sent off. I actually went through FedEx, and FedEx wasn't so bad. Okay. But the other one I have to go through the post office because it's just way too expensive through FedEx. $175 for one roll of PLA to send to Australia.
That's crazy. And some snips.
Yes, and some snips. So technically, I think it totaled out to be like just under 3 kilos.
Kilos. That's like
it was just over 1 kilo. That's what it was. Just over 1 kilo. So
like all the insurance on that kilo.
1.05 kilos. So if I go to the post office, I know it'll be a lot cheaper than that.
Oh yeah. Wellbot said pretty much anyone 30 or under these days can speak some level of English. Yeah. Danielle was over in France first and then went over to Croatia, and she was out there last week, a while ago, with a relative, and she said that it was interesting. In one sense, it was nice that the people in France and Croatia could, speak and understand English, but at the same time, it kind of killed the experience because it's like, the fact that they could speak your language was great, but at the same time, it was kind of a bummer that it wasn't as special as like you're going somewhere and you need to know the local language to talk to them or things like that. It kind of, not that it ruined the experience by any means, but it definitely, back in the day, it used to be when you go to France, they could speak and understand English, but they used to be like really, really particular about like they would not talk to you in English. It was like French or bust.
Okay,
so it's a
reason for that. Because when most Americans go over into France, they'll walk up to somebody and they won't say, hello, how are you doing? Where's the bathroom? They just walk up to somebody and say, where's the bathroom? And that's why they're like, okay, you jerk, I'm going to make it hard on you.
The only time I've ever been out of the country was eons ago when I went to Mexico to help build a house. That's all I ever know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never been out of the country, to be honest with you.
We all know you still want to fly to Sweden and see Daniel Murray, though.
Oh, I totally want to go there.
Yeah, I've not been out of the country, so.
By the way, I found out where that box came from. Oh, I know it came from Sweden, but I figured out who was behind it. I finally went back on my emails and read up on everything. And I was like, TiVo, we're sending you some filament. I was like, okay, that's how they got my address. I'm supposed to, hopefully very soon, I'll be reviewing a printer for TiVo. But still waiting for the warehouse here in the U.S. to get it, I think.
You need becoming a TiVo show. No, I'm just kidding.
But unfortunately, it's still not a 20.
Heck, I'll review any printer anyone wants to send to me.
Tomorrow night, I'm hoping to do an unboxing on the A10 by G-Tech.
There you go.
See how I feel when I get home tomorrow.
See how baked you are, residually baked you are from the concert. Ooh.
That's going to be on Wednesday.
Oh, never mind.
That's the reason why when you mentioned streaming on Wednesday, I'm like, I don't think I can make it. And then Thursday is Beth's birthday, so I'm taking her out to dinner and everything. Well, first I got to take her to breakfast at our favorite place in the whole wide world.
Denny's.
Hey, it's a free Grand Slam breakfast. What are you going to do?
I'm not complaining.
I was going to take her to Red Robin tonight, but the traffic was so horrible going up the 101. It took us, what, 30, 40? No, it took 45 minutes to get from Salinas to Gilroy. So we just went ahead and stopped off at Chili's and picked up some authentic Mexican food at Chili's. Oh, no, not Chili's. What's the other one? Not Chili's. What's the other one starts with a C? Chevy's.
Yeah, that place used to be good, and then it kind of just went downhill.
It's actually really good. The food there tonight was really good. Got the chili relleno, and I got a tamale, and I got a chicken enchilada.
The last time I ate at one, it wasn't what I...
It's like, wait a minute, where's the cornball coming from Mexico?
Last time I ate at one, it wasn't like what I remember, but whatever.
It was actually pretty good tonight.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it tasted really good.
Oh, man, this is one hot mess of a stream. What have I done?
That's also what she said.
Oh, my God.
What have I done?
Aaron's like, what have I done accepting this? I have killed myself socially.
I don't care. That's all right.
I'm just messing with you, dude. Trust me. There's so many times where I do the stream, and it's like in the moment, I'm like super like, where the heck is this going? But at the end, the fact that there's still people watching and people who enjoy it makes it worth it. If you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I figured out that the reason why shows like Jerry Springer and things that are so popular is that everybody loves to watch a train wreck. It's just what they do. And I'm not equating this to that by any means, but it's just that whole not knowing of what's going to happen next that does it, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I completely do. Except for Jerry Springer, I don't like that show or shows like it because I deal with shows like that. So, no. If I don't have to see another one of those shows, I'll be good. But I know I've got to see at least 2 to 3 of those shows tonight. So.
Oh man. So does your yeah? What was I gonna say? I can't think. Never mind.
No, he does not watch porn while he's at work. Unlike you, Calvin.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Teresa says my Spanish would get me in trouble. Mine too. I got once we end the stream, I got to tell you guys a little story about some angel food cake. What it's called in the Philippines and what it means in Spanish. It's a good story.
Interesting.
It's amazing how some words in one language are complete insults in another language. It's almost like that was meant that way. I don't know.
I forget in which culture it is. Waving to somebody is about the equivalent of flipping them off.
Well, in Australia, isn't the peace symbol? Isn't that the same as using the finger?
We got 4 Aussies in chat. We'll figure it out real fast.
No, I'm not doing that to them. No, just remember Nixon.
For my time.
Well, Google it.
Teresa says no.
No. So doing the peace, brother. That's not the equivalent to going. Oh no, I can't do that.
Just do this,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Monetize Calvin. Yeah. What's missing?
Hey, I've only got 832 hours to go before hopefully I get monetized. Keep watching my stuff.
TK says that's the French.
So Wilbot says, nah, peace with fingers facing outwards. Up yours is fingers facing yourself. Okay, great.
Okay, so this is peace, and this is okay.
Oh, so bad. All right.
The finger one in this. Come on, Calvin. It's all right. It's all right.
No, I'm just like getting really tired here all of a sudden, so bear with me. The heat in the last like week has just taken its toll on me.
So you got your appointment tomorrow?
Yeah, I got my appointment tomorrow.
Good. Maybe they'll find you a real doctor.
Yeah, I'm not saying the family doctor's not a real doctor, but
no, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the other quack you went to.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm hoping that being that school officially starts up in about a month, if there's anything that I can do, now is the time, but I really don't know.
Paul says, yep, I think you got it, Jimmy, but I need to see it again to be sure. Yeah, that would totally be a meme, wouldn't it?
Kind of like the time that you had the sparks fly off the which machine was that again?
What's that?
Which machine did you have the sparks come off of that we made all kinds of goofy memes about?
Oh, the Zone Star.
I still vote the one which I'm not going to say out loud was the best.
What's that?
The one involving the hot tip, the meme that we made about that one was the best. When the hot tip sells you his spares and there's sparks shooting out the side.
Gear is the best. Oh, goodness. For some reason, I never made any money off of that either. I guess nobody wanted to buy one of those printers from my channel.
Well, let me think why. I don't want to buy the pyrotechnics machine.
Like, come on, 4th of July is here. Well, that's right, I already passed, didn't it? Buy one of these, stick it out there. You'll have fun.
Maybe they just didn't want to be known as that person who burnt down the whole town.
What's that?
Maybe they just did not want to be known as that person who burnt down the entire town.
Well, on the more sad note, I think there's at least one person who comes in the chat who knows somebody whose house burnt down because their 3D printer had an electrical malfunction. So yeah, it is
That is
something.
sad.
It is definitely, and I don't want to make light of it because it's obviously any kind of electrical fire, regardless of what it is a very serious thing. But considering the power that some of these 3D printers draw and the fact that you do have a heated piece of metal with potentially flammable plastic inside, it's not exactly the best of ideas.
Well, yeah, and I was telling Jimmy the last time that, I mean, I made a couple upgrades. One upgrade I did on my ANET is I did MOSFETs on there to help prevent that. So my board's not running through the controller itself, it's actually running the power through the MOSFET instead of running it through the actual like motherboard controller too, which pulls more load trying to do all that, which usually I've seen a whole bunch of people have issues excuse me, with melting parts or frying their motherboard. So
Yeah, the cooler you can keep the motherboard, the better. I mean, Wellbot said, didn't 3D Maker Noob just get one with like 1,000-watt PSU? Yeah, I think Chuck Hellebuck was about ready to have a nuclear meltdown when he calculated how much power was going to that board, and there wasn't exactly the best strain and things, and he's all like, ah! And I was looking up the gauge of wire that you would need to run on that thing, and it was just like, sure, it heats up really fast, but it's a moving bed machine. Those wires will start to break. You will start to get heat buildup, and if that thing goes, really bad.
Yep.
Robot's got right. That's nuts. My PC only runs 850, and I have an 1080 Ti and hex core CPU. Yeah, that's a lot of power for a 3D printer. Way too much. That's overkill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my laptop that I'm streaming on, according to the power brick, the output is 19 volts at no under 6.5 amps.
That's what, 600 watts?
Yeah, let me double check. Somewhere around there.
580?
That's somewhere around there, I think. So, but yeah, I have run my, well, as I told you last time, my printer, I did those pumpkins, did 552 hours just on printing the pumpkins on my ANET. That's after I did the MOSFET on there, just to make sure that nothing was going to happen on it. Which, you know, I have printed to where I'm not there with it, but I waited to see how everything was going to work on it. Checked all my connections, made sure none of them were loose, made sure none of them were messed up. I did on my board, on my heat bed, you know, where everything comes in. You have those plugs that just plug in, those cheap Chinese plugs. I had that actually mess up and actually arced and torched the positive wire for my heat bed.
Oh, wow.
And so I actually, so, and this was after I had done a lot of printing on it. So it was right there that it had done that. It scared me a little bit that it did that. Luckily, nothing happened. But my heat bed would not heat up. I actually had to kind of modify, resolder it. I actually got different connectors attached to it and left those prongs in there. But these were from like car. I went to an automotive place to get it to where I was at. And so on it, the connector is kind of like the two-part things. You know, you can put two prongs in. So I could do that for the positive and negative, and then there's your middle two wires. I did the same adapters, and I just turned that sideways and fit them on that way. And they held up perfectly fine. Now I have that completely replaced with the Anacubic print bed. So I don't have to worry about that at all.
Wow.
Which is good. Yeah.
That's really good.
So, I mean, I got lucky that nothing bad actually happened with it. And, I mean, that just goes to prove that some things can happen, even though you've gone through steps of getting a MOSFET to help with the load differentials. So this doesn't happen to you. But, I mean, I checked out, and that was a common occurrence for people with the ANET A8. So, I mean, I have issues with my printer. It's not the best printer, but Sometimes you pay for what you get, and sometimes was there I'm trying to remember the one that Angus did a review on. It was a big, huge one. It's like $500 to $1,000. It was like the tornado, not TiVo. It was like a Twister or something, or I can't remember the name of the brand, but I had actually thought about getting one of those. I was like, wow, that seems kind of nice. Nice, huge print volume. Horrible reviews. Horrible. It was just crappy. So you spent a lot of money on it, but the quality that went into everything just wasn't there with the software and everything. They had their in-stops, the actual lever ones set up, and they wanted to even go down to it, and just a whole bunch of problems they had with it. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I was like, oh, Angus is doing a review on it. I'll watch that and see. And he's like, yeah, this sucks. I'm like,
Hey,
yeah.
JT's taking off. Have a good one, JT.
Yeah, the one thing I will say when it comes to these cheap machines is you definitely need to know what you're getting yourself into, or yeah, it could be bad.
It can.
Well, it's like on that TiVo Tarantula. I had a issue where I had everything all tight, but even at that, you could still the wires started to arc inside the plastic connector. So I just ended up hardwiring it, went to a MOSFET, and just called it a day.
And sometimes that's the best thing you can do is just hardwiring something, because the connectors that they put on there, you should check the back of it before you even start hooking the whole motherboard up to anything. I recommend, because I've seen people talk about how loose theirs are, but the soldering is loose. Like, you can grab one of the connectors and just wobble it. So either A, check and resolder it so it's there, or B, check, and if it's loose or even if it's not loose, desolder it and just hardwire something.
Yeah.
It's the best way to keep yourself from burning your own house down.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't say how many times I've seen people in the model train community who literally cannot solder things, and I'm just like, okay, that's not a really critical connection, but come on, you can do better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like if it's not soldered right, you're toast. You could short something out. You could even start a fire inside your train if you short out the driver circuit that's powering it if you were unlucky. So yeah, wouldn't be a fun day.
I had to, from my printer, the print bed, swapping it out, because the original motherboard has those really big, wide, 3-prong technical ones, but only takes 2 for the heated bed. So it tells, for the thermistor, so it says, well, this is at this temperature now that you can start printing. The one that you get back from, if you get the Anycubic one, has the really thin black ones that won't work for it, so you have to modify it. So you have to either snip it and then resolder the ends back together to actually have it, or solder it straight to the board by desoldering that spot, or soldering to the backside of it. So, but then you got to know which pins you actually need to plug it into, which is why you don't take apart everything. So
Now you take a lot of photos and you do the old draw in there with the paint app like this and this, and also if you made like kind of paint marker, it helps to make dots on the board so you can kind of color code the dots according to where everything was. But yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I definitely cannot oversell is photos, 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 and more photos. Taking something apart to put it back together, take photos. If you're not planning to put it back together, that's fine. But if you want to get something put back together and back together properly, you need to take photos. Otherwise, whether you mark them or not, having photos to reference, okay, well, this is how this looked, and this is how that looked. That's how you put things back together. The printer that I printed the gears on, I did that. On not every single thing, but I was able to troubleshoot and fix it. So,
well, whatever works. Well, I don't know about you guys. Do you want to go on a few more minutes? I'm crashing hard here right now.
now you know how I felt being up for almost 24 hours the other day.
Been there, done that. It's not fun.
Yeah, I've done that many times.
Yeah, we better get off the stream so that Calvin can do a line or two. I torment Court Calvin so bad. I'm surprised he still wants to stream with me.
It's okay. Off camera, we get back at each other real good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it. I've got flies buzzing around me for some reason. I don't know why.
It's fine. The stream is dying.
Yeah. Apparently I'm part of it.
Oh, well, thanks again, Aaron, aka the Candy Outdoor, for popping in on here, dude.
Not a problem.
That was fun. And I'll keep you guys all posted on if I'm going to do a Wednesday night stream or not. If I do, I'll let you know. If I don't, I'll let you know. It all depends upon how busy I am when I get back up with that, etc.
Sounds good.
Good.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you being in the chat and bearing with us. And once again, Aaron, thank you very much for joining. Calvin, we do it again. Well, it won't probably not this coming week, but the following week we'll go back over to my channel. Huh?
Yep, 2 weeks probably from now, we'll pick it back up over on Jimmy's channel. Like I said, if I do a solo stream or if anybody wants to join on with me, I'll let you guys know about that. If I do that, it might be more of like a private stream where, it's just everybody hanging out. It might not be public, but we'll see.
Send me the link, and I'll come on there for like 2 minutes so I can take and make sure that video is never monetized again.
That's why I said it might be somewhat of a private stream, so that way we can openly and
you're not going to send me the link? Okay, see that? He's a hater.
Once a hater, always a hater.
Guys, have a good night.
Right.
Have a good one. See ya.
See ya.